Kelly?
Yep.
I'm not so sure you wouldn't move.
Can we begin the meeting with the pledge of allegiance? Everybody get that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of agenda.
I would like to have the number 5 for the next council meeting agenda. The planning and zoning board chair.
What was that, David? He wants to move that to the next meeting?
Yes.
Why?
Is that a motion stand?
I
Yeah,
assume
I'll
that-
make that motion.
What we doing?
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Stan, second by Kelly, to move the item 5 to the next agenda.
I'd like to have more time to take a look at that and prepare. I watched part of that meeting, but I wasn't able to watch all of it, and I didn't know it was gonna be on this agenda tonight, so I'm not fully ready to discuss that.
I think there's a lot more to the hiring new person. And I think we need to think about that as a whole.
I mean, this is something that's budgeted. We're actually losing money. We haven't had anybody in this position since the first of the year.
How are we losing
How are you
money?
losing money?
People are building buildings and we're not.
We've
Yeah,
got
we have.
24 permits so far this year that
24.
Commissioner Cole has done at no charge. So yeah, we're not losing money.
It's awesome.
Yep.
How many septic tank permits has there been?
I can check on that and get back with you the next meeting.
I'm pretty sure I can check on that myself.
Okay, then, well, you asked me, Keith, so I'm just,
You act like you know it all, so I thought I'd just go ahead and fulfill the rest of my request.
I second the motion, David. I'd like to have more information before we have a discussion and potential vote on something. There's no way.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, we take a vote. All those in favor of moving this to the next agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Hey,
Okay, what, 5-2?
Sorry, Mandy.
Next item on the agenda is the public comments. I don't think anybody signed in, did they? I guess we need to go ahead and approve the agenda with the change.
Do you approve the agenda too, don't you?
Yeah, so I guess we need to go ahead and approve the agenda with that change.
Yeah, I would make,
Motion made to approve the agenda.
A second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
all right.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
hey,
5-1, or did you? Or 6-1?
6-1.
Next, public comments. No one signed in. Next on the item is Tara Lucas.
So I'm here to kind of, I did send you guys an email a few weeks ago about some 2024 Health First Indiana funding reallocation. Erla, thank you for responding to that email and your kind words. I appreciate it. We are fortunate enough to have received word just right before I sent that email that we did get our immunization grant that would start July 1st, 2024 and run through June 30th, 2025. We figured this would happen. We knew that there was a chance. So that means there is funding that needs to be reallocated. So that is what prompted that email. I know that email was very detailed and I kind of explained exactly why we were doing things and what KPI it meets for the state. I can read them all out loud if you'd like, or if you've had time to review my email from a couple weeks ago, it's totally your call.
So you have a total of 38 to reallocate.
Correct, $38,253.88 to be exact.
Has everyone had a chance to review these? Any questions on those, or? I don't want to read them all, do you? I guess you could.
I could probably read it in my sleep. So at this point, yeah, I mean, I can.
If you want to go pretty quick.
Sure. So, like I said, this is all immunization grant funding that was written into HFI that we were fortunate enough to have received that grant again, thank goodness. So 2 of these would be for a partnership with Purdue Extension. One is a walking program and the other is the name of the program is Matter of Balance, which is a falls prevention program. We are required by the state of Indiana to have addressed a fall program. So that's why we wanted to partner with Purdue Extension. The other is the construction for the Safe Haven Baby Box Thomas Glass. It came in right under $5,000. We would like to, use this funding for that. Landline and cell phone is an existing category. We're running a little bit low on that. So we just wanted to put a little bit more in that bucket so that we're not depleting that fund before the end of the year. And the health fairs, we have greatly underestimated the amount of fairs and events that we were able to participate in or host or hold in 2024, which is a great thing for our community. But we do need a little bit more funding in that bucket as well. Cholesterol kits, that's pretty standard. We need more cholesterol supplies because we will be participating in cholesterol checks at these fairs. Medical supplies is a given. Tobacco education, we're going to be working really closely with the schools on some more vaping education and vaping programs and getting staff trained. Lice kits is kind of a given. Dental kits, we're going to focus on pediatric and our elderly population, making sure that everybody has, things that they need to do proper hygiene, oral hygiene, and first aid kits is kind of a given as well. The existing agreement with Perry County Hospital to provide basic CPR and AED training, that will very likely take off from the conversations I've been a part of, so we want to make sure that is plentiful and funding. Computers and printers, kind of a given, and travel and education. Like I said in my notes, the health department is required to either partner with a county who has a licensed lead assessor, which is not, I do the lead in forms of testing and going into the home when we have a positive or an elevated lead level, and I educate families. But we have historically partnered with the state. They have the equipment to test surfaces and locate where the lead exposure is coming from. We are now required to have someone on site that can do that. So that funding line there would cover. Kim Robertson actually just went and got trained for that.
Will you have your kits and everything you need or all your equipment for that, or will that be
Not
separate?
That's coming, yeah. We have a lot of the little stuff, but there's going to be some bigger purchases we'll have to make. You guys have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions of Tara?
No.
Thank you.
I think you have to.
We have to vote on?
Yeah, you have to vote on this one.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Keith, second by Paul. All those in favor of approving the reallocation, signify by saying aye.
No.
Opposed, nay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Motion carries 7-0. Thanks, Tara. Next, we have approval of minutes of the 4/25/2024 meeting. Pretty lengthy. Everyone had a chance to review these? Anyone have any changes or corrections? If not, I entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Gail. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Christina Hammock, auditor. Additional appropriation.
Yes, as we talked in the last meeting, the Fund 8961 has been set up with a fund balance. What I want to do is, as we receive these funds, go ahead and bring them to you, let you know they're received, and go ahead and appropriate them, where as we get proper attorney bills, we can pay them in a timely manner. So currently, right now, this is where we're at.
So we are proposing additional appropriation of the 211.
Yeah, it's not a transfer or anything. This is the reimbursement funds, the reimbursement monies that is in the fund, where this basically makes this available for us to pay pauper bills out of as we get them.
And I'm assuming we're probably going to need
Haven't
most of
gotten
that.
any. Yes, I mean, we will. I mean, we haven't got any right now. We're paid up right now.
What
What's
is-
that last 75,000, remember, that was
Yeah.
supposed to be for, April and May? Did that not come out of here? I
No,
thought we were
because we
going
had
to.
already done it.
So
It
that
it was
came out of
already
county
done.
general.
Okay.
Mhm, yes. Yeah, we had already paid that
Okay.
and done that before this, because
So
that was
that-
actually done.
That's how we have a larger balance, because I thought that 75 would come off that 150 we had.
No,
at the
because we
time.
had already paid it out of that additional.
Okay.
So-
I was curious about that.
I mean, technically, I guess you could do a transfer back from 8961 to general to reimburse for those. I mean, we could, but those bills had already been paid before
Yeah.
we did, you know. Currently, right now, all pauper bills are paid. I know that Kim's getting ready to work up another, but I mean, we're all up, I believe. I mean, everything that the auditor's office has received, we've paid. We have nothing on the claim docket for pauper for June 3rd.
So this is for future anticipated invoices coming
Yep,
in.
I just want to go ahead and appropriate it as it comes in, because it's not general money, it's not anything. As it comes in, then when Kim submits a pauper bill, I don't have to come to you guys, wait for a council meeting, come to you guys, then turn around and go to then for the commissioners. I can just go ahead. Kim can submit Kim Myers, or, the circuit court can submit the claim to the auditor's office, and it can just be added on the claim docket to be paid out of 8961.
And probably in the future, this is probably going to be budgeted out of here. It's going to be part of our budget. And
Yes.
we won't be doing this.
Yes,
So
this is not
going
going to come out of general. So this is really, I mean,
It's kind of,
we talked about this last time, but the mistake of me creating this fund in 2023 kind of allowed us to build up a balance in there. So this really puts us in a good position going forward with pauper, because we've already got funds in there. So they'll pay him, and then we submit the reimbursement, get more money in there and pay those. It's kind of like a revolving. So I think angels were helping us with
yeah,
that.
and then when we do
What
our,
time period that was for? Refresh my memory.
Which
goes
one?
back to
What time
January.
period was it?
I set this fund up in March of 23.
So this-
So this would have been for the first quarter. So first, we've got the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and of 2023, and one quarter of 2024. Does that make sense?
So the whole year went in there last year?
Well, all of 2024, because you get paid in January, you submit your January, February, submit in March for January through,
All of 23 and then the first
All
quarter.
23's in there.
all of 23 is in there, and one quarter of 24.
And the second line here is the juvenile.
Juvenile, yep.
Motion
Very
very
good.
good.
Pardon?
You did very well.
Thank you.
Second that motion.
Was there a
Who
first?
made a motion?
I made it.
Motion by Paul, second by Keith.
Are we taking this all both of them together?
I
That's fine.
would think so.
Okay.
They are going to different funds, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I would maybe do them separate, plus we
Maybe,
get
yeah.
more with that. Especially the more motions we have in a meeting, the more
We'll do the
incentive we get.
larger one at first, the pauper defender fund, the 8961, 211,115.64. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Now we entertain a motion to transfer the 4E Public Defender Fund, 8960, in the amount of $5,637.82.
Make a motion.
Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have cash transfer.
Okay, here's another positive thing. In 2023, we had an interlocal agreement with the city of Cannleton and the city of Tell City. And they paid us, the city paid us $35,000, the Cannleton paid us $5,000, and then we paid $35,000. So we paid a total, that's our interlocal agreement with them, and we paid that to the animal shelter. This interlocal agreement and the funds didn't start coming in till latter part of the year. So just like this year, we had already paid we had already paid some of Cannleton and Tell City's portion out of ours. And so that money goes into this fund. So we paid their portion out of general. So this money needs to be moved back to general. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
Because-
why didn't we have that in the past?
This was the first year for the animal shelter and the local
Because
agreement.
we've been.
Mhm.
It was on hold. It wasn't.
It
It
was
wasn't
on hold.
hold.
It wasn't,
That's
open. They
why.
did it before years.
And I found this when I was doing the annual financial report. I was like, oh, whoa. But what it is because we were so much later getting everything together with the interlocal agreement, and then Cannleton and Tell City didn't start paying us till later, and we still had to pay the $6,250, so we overpaid. So we paid more than our 35. So this replenishes back into,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we paid monthly, but they're not paying monthly, so then.
yes, this year we do not, okay, so this year it's a little bit different, which I really, really hope that next year or this year, we can start doing these contracts and interlocal agreement arrangements in October or November instead of waiting till January or later in the year, because we were signing contracts and working on interlocal agreements in March of this year. And the city decided to not do an interlocal agreement. So then I had to work with the city because we had already paid their portion for January, February, and March. So we had already paid more than our portion. Cannleton did go ahead and send their $5,000 to us. I've had to basically readjust. So as of May, we actually only owe, as far as for our contractor amount, we only owe $10,000 because we've paid. And then the city's paying directly. And next year, if I would like, it would be easier bookkeeping, that if the city of Tell City is not going to do an interlocal agreement, that we not do an interlocal agreement with Cannleton, because then each person pay their portion to the animal shelter directly, because it just doesn't make sense. It's just been a lot of extra bookkeeping and work on that matter. But
So they haven't went without pay though.
no, not one, no. Everything's right. The city of Cannleton sent their $5,000. They've got their $6,250 every month. The city of Tell City is just now basically they're paying their $35,000 directly and everything. So yeah, everything's hunky-dory. We just basically, here's another thing that when you double check everything and go through everything. So this is just $22,000 to be transferred out of the interlocal agreement fund to general to offset the additional funds that we paid. And I gave you guys the history of everything on there.
This makes
So
us current at this point, and going forward, we should be okay too.
yes, and then we wouldn't really be using 1160 anymore, because unless you guys so choose, or whoever does that, commissioners or council, to keep an interlocal agreement for $5,000 with Cannleton, then our $35,000 part of the contract is out of the commissioner's budget in general. So 1160 will be at a zero balance and not used for the rest of the year and then you guys decide what to do next year. Does that make sense?
Yep.
There's Mud.
Makes sense. I would.
It's an additional
I don't think we
transfer.
did.
Transfer. No, we
Want me to
haven't
entertain a
yet.
motion?
I'll make a motion aloud.
Motion by Paul,
Second.
second by Gail. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
The next thing, if you guys recall, back in March, the community corrections, when we changed funds, which you guys can look and see how easy it is. Their old fund number was 9116. Their new fund number is 9161. Their transfer, they transferred like 86 cents, and it should have been 88, so it left 2 cents in the old fund. So this is just transferring 2 cents to the new fund, just to clean that up.
Just one time deal that-
Oh, yeah, it's just, yeah, it would have all been taken care of.
It just takes all the money out of the
Yep.
fund, it's done here on out.
Yep. Yep.
I'll second.
Motion by Paul, second by Gail. All those in favor?
Erla. I think it was Erla, right?
Oh, it was?
I seconded it. Maybe Gail did too.
Oh,
did.
okay.
I did hear.
Do I sound like a man?
I heard Gail, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I heard you, Erla.
I'll give it to Gail.
Okay.
Gail, I crossed Gail out, so now I got 3.
All those in favor, signify saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
The last thing I have on here is just a 2025 budget update. I just want to kind of let you know I have given Baker Tilly all the information that they have requested to compile everything. Jason is actually out on vacation this week, and we are have a conference call. I have another conference call with him and Paige next Tuesday morning to finish up making sure they have everything and answer any questions they have about the financials. Then they will be reaching out to you, David, to schedule the time to discuss the comprehensive plan and everything. I just wanted to say I'm excited. I am a little nervous here because I pretty much would really be starting on budget already. But
Do you have a budget calendar yet? Have you worked on that yet? Someone asked me that other day if we had a pre-budget. I said pre-budget. I'm not sure what they were talking about.
because I really don't, this year is going to be so different with you dealing with Baker Tilly, and you really need to have this comprehensive plan before you even start on budgets. And then you guys will start, I'm just assuming by the meeting and conversation, after you get this comprehensive plan, then you guys will start meeting with the department heads to go over things and doing that. So basically, the role and part that I play in it is getting you guys all the information, or getting Baker Tilly all the information for the comprehensive plan, getting you guys all the financial information in July, as far as for January through June 30th. And then you guys will start working on the budget with the department heads and the consulting of Baker Tilly. And I will be preparing the information. And the way I'm kind of taking it is that most of your legwork and all this is going to be done. So then September's, I don't want to say stress-free, but less stressful. And it's just a technicality, but pretty much it'd be a lot. But I just want you guys to start thinking about planning, because, once July gets here, at the ultimate latest July, you guys need to really get to moving on scheduling these department head meetings and getting things going, because putting the budget together is between you guys and Baker Tilly. So if anybody has any comments or questions or anything, let me know. But basically, the only role that I'm playing in budget is making sure I get you guys the financial information and all the components that you guys need to put the budget together, and go from there. But we really can't, till you guys really meet with Baker Tilly, I can't really put a schedule together because I really don't know. So I'll need your guys' assistance with putting that schedule together as far as your department head meetings and all that. Of course, I've got my deadline on stuff that I have to have submitted to the to Gateway, and that's basically putting all the information together that you guys will need. And then I just kind of step back and let you all work your magic.
Okay, next item is, anybody any other questions on that or anything? On budget 2025 planning? If not, the next thing we have is review tax abatements. You can provide assurance that those CF forms were all filed by the May 15 deadline. Everything's fine.
Yep.
They satisfied the
Yep.
SB ones.
Yep, we can scan and send all those to you. Nicole Sen in my office handles tax abatements, and she had just thought that spreadsheet, she felt like last year when she gave you these big stacks of paper, and it was a little bit, that putting a spreadsheet together for you guys with all that information.
Well, as long as someone has confirmed that they have filed.
If you want to table it, you can do that, and then we can, I can email them to you.
When do we have to do that by a certain time? Is it June?
15th. June 1st. No, June 15th. It's June 15th.
The CF ones are January to May 15th, right? And then
Right.
We probably do just need to review those just before we make a decision, so we can make sure that they're in compliance.
But we won't have a meeting before that,
I mean, we could,
unless we call a special meeting.
No one asked for any information prior to this meeting. I'm pretty sure I have an email address. And I'm pretty sure that, whatever you guys need. I mean, that's one thing that I really, really want to start stressing, and by no means am I trying to, but guys, I'm here 7+ hours a day. I have email, I have a phone. If you guys have questions, anyone, public, commissioners, council, this whole wait until meetings to just basically just expect us, I just don't get it. If you have
Well, I probably
questions,
should have said something
I
on
mean-
Monday when we talked, but normally that has always been submitted
If you
to
wanna-
us. You didn't have
you
to
didn't,
grant it.
last year, you fumbled through every single one of those papers and struggled to even put it all together. When you were reading it all out, you were getting
But you
confused. I
see-
thought we were helping. If you want to look at it, that's fine.
But you see
Yeah.
the form.
I'd like to look at it. I'll make a
that's
motion to
signed.
table it.
That's perfectly fine. That's
So we
fine,
get the
David.
statement of benefits and CF ones just to review.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor, or any discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So you guys need to figure out when do you want me to email that to you? Are you going to schedule another meeting? Do I move forward? What do I do?
Hear your-
So when is the next meeting?
Not
This has
till
to be done,
June 27th.
but this has to be done before then?
Yep, I'll check my exact dates on everything and email that to you guys tomorrow morning.
Our next meeting is June 27th, but if it's due, well,
I'm pretty sure it's June 15th.
we'll just have to schedule a special meeting, I guess.
I'm pretty sure I didn't email those out last year. You were the only one that reviewed them and looked at them last year. I did not email them out last year because it was a huge stack. Just FYI.
David, I think I made a motion and then Stan second.
Motion to Kelly,
She
second by
made a
Stan,
vote to table it.
to table till
Until we have a special meeting.
the special meeting, I guess, because we have to have it approved by the 15th. Which is, you'd be tabling to the next meeting. So all's in favor of tabling to the
Who
next meeting?
seconded? I heard it first. Stan.
Stan?
Yeah.
Kelly and Stan. Okay, all those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
5-2, or? Next, we have revisions to the personnel policy handbook.
You want to talk about that?
Huh?
Do you want to talk about that? Or do you want Kelly to?
Kelly, I guess. I don't know if she wants to, maybe she doesn't, I don't know.
This is just the revisions that were made in the committee, Personnel Handbook Committee. There were a couple of major, not really major, but changes that needed to be done. The first one is regarding the U.S. Department of Labor raised the salary threshold as of January 1st of 25 to $58,656 for exempt employees.
So due to this change, the handbook committee will amend or decided to amend exempt employees listing. So the exempt employees that are staying are the health officer, highway superintendent, public health nurse supervisor, chief probation officer, and community corrections director. So that will remove people that are currently exempt. They'll be going to non-exempt because they're not meeting that salary threshold. Those removed will be the director, E911 coordinator, the jail commander, parks and rec director, probation officer, community corrections case managers, the GAL CASA director, the court administrator, court reporter. Those people, since their salary will not meet that threshold, will now be non-exempt as of you guys' approval to do that. Exempt employees, the other change was exempt employees do not receive comp time. And this isn't really a change. It has always been in the handbook. They will receive flex time, not comp time. And so this flex time will need to be used within the next pay period. They get the flex time to flex their hours. They don't get comp time for monetary gain in any way. So those were the two things that were discussed in the last personnel handbook meeting that needed to be adjusted.
Anyone have any questions of Kelly?
Just to reiterate, it's a federal decision
Correct.
to change that threshold. It's not
Correct.
anything
It was
we've done
the
locally or
department.
state,
So
so.
it was the Department of Labor that
That's
made
right.
that change.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I just have a quick question.
Oh, okay.
We obviously do not have representation on the personnel policy committee. Can you just say that again? Is that changing in the handbook as far as the flex time? I know it says flex time now, but we are currently, like, I'm exempt, but I do get comp time to use.
Those won't be tracked anymore because we can't, because you can't pay it out.
So now exempt employees need to use it, you said by the next pay period,
In the next pay period,
or it just,
you lose it basically.
okay, so that is a change than what we are currently doing.
Yeah, the flex time has always been there and it's always,
Okay.
it was supposed to be flex time.
But it will no longer be calculated like it is now,
Correct.
is what you're saying. So if I go over,
It's,
okay.
you to track that and you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our department heads welcome at the personnel policy committee meetings, like just to voice.
I mean, it's a-
concerns.
meeting.
It's an
It's a
open meeting.
public meeting. so-
Okay, that's fine. I'll just ask you when we run the next time. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mhm.
If not, I
So
would-
Kelly, you said the only difference in that is on the flex time is just the time period it has to be used
Yes.
by the next period. It's always been there. It's just, that's the only difference.
And that is a Federal Labor Standard Act that exempt do not earn comp time.
Correct.
Yes.
I think that's something that.
Yeah, it's
we-
not your office.
Yes,
It's
it's
not
not
this
our office.
board.
It's
It's not
something
the
that we
state.
were doing.
We
Yeah.
asked for clarification through Wagner.
I think it's important to have that.
Regarding that
Yeah.
information, and they responded back with that information, which I think was sent out to all of the department heads, council, and commissioners.
Thanks for all your work on that, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
If no further discussions, I would entertain a motion to approve the
I think
changes.
I made that motion.
You made the motion?
Yeah.
Stan made the motion to approve,
I'll second.
second by Earl. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Next, ARP funding request. Did someone want to, I guess we have ARP funding request. This is basically, I guess, for the hospital.
I could go through it, David, if you want.
Okay, go ahead, since you're on that committee.
Okay. Yep, this is recommendations from the Perry County ARP Committee. We had a couple different meetings. It was open to physical health care. Dr. Michael Dom came forward with some requests, as well as Brandon with the Perry County Memorial Hospital.
Leonard, not Brandon.
Well, Brandon came and then Leonard came too, yeah. And so the things that were recommended out of that committee are a new ambulance, a remount to be bid for the amount of $200,885. And then wrapping decals for the ambulance for approximately $5,400, a Furno cot for the new ambulance for $44,326.40. 4 new Life Pack 15s for the ambulances. They requested 4 of those. Those are the cardiac monitors for $190,705.12. 3 Lucas machines for the ambulances at their request for $17,533.80. Lucas machine service agreements so that they can come in and make sure that those are up to date. And that is for $6,931.76. Then $17,533.80, yes. 4 video laryngoscopes for the ambulances for $6,931.76. And a packet of V-blade replacements for $1,537. GIS maps to be included in all of the ambulances, all 5, for $4,075. And then there's an additional subscription on that for $1,300. They need 4 cradle points, the hotspot hubs for $13,209.80, and then the networks to give them cell service for $220. That total is $538,275.88, but they have some potential trade-ins on some older equipment that they're going to do, and they think that they can get it down to $530,000 after those trade-ins. And then there's a few additional requests here. We had some AEDs. The sheriff's office had 2 vehicles they needed AEDs in, and the Tell City Police Department needed 2, as well as 5 AEDs going out into the community to locations to be determined for $19,653. A Pulse Point app for first responder cell phones to locate where the calls are coming from and where the equipment's located, so they can get to it quicker. That's an $18,000 charge. First responder bags, approximately 15 of those at $1,000 a piece. And then Envision Eye Care applied for a Optimax retina scanner. And that is something they are not going to charge their customers for. And then they're going to have an annual event, hopefully a health fair, to provide that to the community at no cost for $98,985. So the total ARP request recommendation from the committee is $681,638. And all those meetings are on YouTube as well. If anybody is interested in watching those, there's a lot more information that Dr. Dom provided and everybody who made these requests. So this is something I think is really beneficial to the community as a whole, everyone who lives here, all the residents.
Kelly, one quick question. Number 3, the Lucas Machine Service maintenance contract.
It is.
Okay, is that for
How long?
Yeah, for a year or for?
I don't have that information with me, but I can get it for you.
Okay.
They said that it has to have those because it's specific to that machine. Something.
It'll be $17,000 a year.
I think it's for the life of the equipment, but I can verify that.
I'm just taking death to see finally some that ARP money get allocated. I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Keith to approve the allocation requested.
Second.
Second by Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have reallocation of tax, specific tax components. I put that on there, like, in recent legislation, there's like where you can actually have a 0.2% going for EMS, and then another, say, 0.2% used for jail operations. And I was just thinking that we need to look at, maybe trying to reallocate some of our tax to these specific components, so where we could better utilize it for the county for the future. And I've been thinking about helping budgeting too. as we go forward, and possibly increase the PSAP up to the maximum 1% to help fund these things that were required as a county to provide. And at some point, probably would be getting with Baker Tilly to help with that. I don't know. It's just something we need to, I think, look at. I know in 20, I think it's in 23, there were like, I think 16 counties or something like that that reallocated, without raising taxes or lowering it. We wouldn't be raising or lowering taxes, either one. It would be just a reallocation of the current tax structure.
I think that's a good idea, David, to help better plan for the future.
That's what I'm thinking, so. We'll at some point get, I think, Baker Tilly to input on that too. I don't know if we need to vote on it or not, but I guess we can.
I'll make a motion to look into that.
Motion by Kelly,
I'll second it.
second by Stan.
Only thing we're doing is voting on, looking into it. We're not voting on implementing, correct?
No,
At
there
this
would have to
point.
be hearings.
No, that'd
and
have to be
everything.
hearings and everything else.
There's
Some
no,
Baker Tilly will review as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure not having any specific percentages right now.
no,
We'll need to do some appropriation for additional consulting with Baker Tilly on that, because they'll bill you for that.
yeah,
So you'll need to do additional consulting, because right now you're just, the only thing you guys have appropriated right now is for the comprehensive plan. There's nothing else.
so Kelly made a motion, second by Stan. Any other discussion? If not, I entertain motion to approve
What do you do?
or vote.
All in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm gonna abstain, because I don't
Okay.
have enough information.
6 or 1 abstention. Next item is next meeting, Thursday, June 27th at 5 PM here. We may have a special meeting prior to that, but our regular scheduled meeting is Thursday, June 27th here at 5 PM. If no one has anything else, I bring a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Stan, second by Gail. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything for us to sign?
Oh, yep.
Don't leave until you sign whatever Chris has for you.
I'll sign mine because it took